people, I think, really, that use the university as a system to avoid working. They have a career in schooling. They spend their whole life getting different degrees constantly. I'm at uni.
Being a perpetual student rather than ever actually contributing anything to society.
That's correct.
We're back in the Gunners Club. Here's another one.
Hello.
G'day, guys.
We're talking about universities. Are they still worth it? Is there any point in still going to university as compared to doing a trade? And does paying all that money and getting into debt pass the pub test?
Yes.
Is it worth it?
Good topic.
So when did universities actually become a thing?
A thing?
Yeah, like a venue. Like how long ago?
Oh, a couple of hundred years ago.
Couple of hundred?
For sure, yeah.
Years,
And did they call it universities, or did they have another name for it?
That's a good question.
When did the name university?
I don't know.
Well, most of the...
Didn't they, I suppose they were colleges for a while, weren't they?
Yeah.
Really?
Before they Freemasonry buildings?
Yeah.
We started
Well, they
already.
were probably made from masonry.
Yeah. Well, you look at all the old buildings, they do have it written there with that symbol thing. Whatever.
I think they were colleges. So it used to be,
And they
you
were
went to
really
college.
for the rich and for the elite.
Yes, because it cost a lot of money.
Yeah, and still does.
Still does.
Even more so now.
Yeah, I don't think they had HECS debts back then, though.
No.
Nah. But the government are so good to you guys. They can just let you build this debt up and you can just pay it back later.
Well, look, there's a plus side for that. If you feel that what you're doing is valuable and that you're learning and that you can use it to make money, and that if you couldn't do it otherwise without having the option of a HECS debt, then I guess it's a good option to have.
Yeah, look, I can see the value of going into getting a HECS debt for learning, maybe liberal arts or or perhaps
become a politician.
Lesbian dance theory, or
I could see you watching that.
Yeah. I'm heavily into that.
Yeah. So I guess have the qualifications that you can obtain at university become so diverse as well that it's really no longer a niche thing to go to university. It used to be you would go to university or college or whatever they would call it, and you would become a doctor, you'd become a lawyer,
an engineer, perhaps.
An engineer. There was a level of education that was required. That's why you went to university. But now it just seems like they have more and more and more and more options to go, whereas the courses themselves don't actually lead to employment.
No, correct.
They don't lead to employment. You find out, well, you're going to uni. What are you studying? I'm studying this. What job does that get you? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right.
But the mindset that I see, especially just from my experience, I was a trade. I was always going to be a tradie, hands-on. So previous to me becoming of age where I was going to leave school, it had already been sort of imprinted in people's minds. If you went to university, you were somewhat academic and smarter than the average Joe Blow. So, and then you've already finished year 10, year 11, year 12, whatever. Then you'd say, you're going to go to university. No. Oh, and they would sort of look differently on you, and so you're just going to be a trade. Yep. So how did that happen? Because rewind hundreds of years ago, everyone was trade orientated. There was no computers, there was no this, there was no that. So where did it end up? How did it become from trade orientated workforce to let's look upon those people that are wanting to go to university as somewhat smarter than the trades? That's how I got it.
A lot of the parents starting 40s to 50s, 1940s, 1950s and such, they were looking to better their children, to have their children's lot being better than theirs was. They were doing hard physical manual labour.
Yeah.
And so they thought, well, if we can get our children into university, get them a degree, they won't have to do this hard menial labour. They'll work smarter, not harder.
Well, that's the conundrum. Was it better? So
Physically, probably not.
what job did they all end up doing, and was it better?
Yeah, but
And
don't
where
forget
are they
that.
today?
Yeah, but don't forget that universities has evolved too. Back in the day, universities did teach core subjects for you. If you had a degree, you got a job. There was no two ways about it.
Yeah.
But now they have changed the courses that they teach that have become so irrelevant to everyday life.
Because there's too many.
Too many and
And they're
irrelevant
just-
courses.
Yeah.
Irrelevant courses. I mean, I make a joke because these liberal arts and lesbian dance theory.
Is that a real one, or did you make that up?
No, it is actually. I mean,
Yeah.
people think I'm making it up. It isn't. It's actually a course, a diploma that you receive for studying lesbian dance theory. I mean,
I can't imagine there'd be a lot of jobs that require that.
no, and that's
Yeah.
what stuns me. And people pay huge amounts of money to get this piece of paper, which I have to tell you, by the way, once you get this degree, right, I don't know if you've ever seen a university degree, right, it's not on paper, it's not on parchment, it's on vellum, which is like deer hide, printed on,
Oh.
yeah, it's a fact.
Fancy.
Okay,
Wow.
so
That's what you need your degree in.
yeah,
Making degrees on
no, but the point
paper.
is that the fact that it's on vellum and you got this degree, it's so useless because it's on vellum. You can't even wipe your ass with it. If it was on paper, you could at least use it for that.
Right. So even the piece of paper it comes on is useless.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Keep you warm at night.
Well, there is that.
True.
I bet you didn't know that.
No. There you go. I didn't know I couldn't wipe my ass on it either.
Oh,
No, I
yeah.
didn't know anything
And think of
about
the poor deer that had to pay,
Yeah.
with its life.
With its hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they still do that now with university
Yes.
degrees. Well, there you go. Yep. So, no animal activist, vegan or vegetarian, should get a university degree on that principle. Because TAFE, I'm pretty sure it's a piece of paper and they send it to you in the mail.
Yeah,
So
well,
there you go.
Yeah.
Protest against university degrees. Yeah, but there are people, I think, really, that use the university as a system to avoid working. They have a career in schooling. They spend their
Perpetual-
whole life getting different degrees constantly. I'm at uni, I'm at uni.
Being a
I'm at uni.
perpetual student rather than ever actually contributing anything to society.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Whether they do it purposefully or not, there are people that do that. They never seem to leave the education system.
Yep.
And
This is
that's
true.
not the people that get an education and work in that field and want to better themselves constantly in that field, because obviously times are changing, there's always stuff to learn. That's different while you're working and learning and you're supplementing your knowledge of what you're working on. But yeah, there are people that just stay in university and don't actually work. They just
So
got lots of degrees.
there are other avenues to this discussion as well. I mean, one of them is the HECS debt that you build up, which can amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
right? And it's not a gift. Eventually,
Yeah.
whatever job you may have down the track in the future, it will automatically be deducted out of your pay. So, whether you
Unless you don't earn enough, and then if you don't earn enough, was it really worth doing a university degree in the first place?
there you go.
Get you anywhere.
But you're still stuck
Yeah.
with the debt.
Yeah, that's right.
You're still stuck. That doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And if by the government decides, oh look, we'll forgive some of this debt, all that has happened is that forgiven debt has been passed on to the rest of us, who have to pay it out of our taxpayer money.
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle.
So you could have gotten a liberal arts degree that isn't worth shit.
And we have to pay for it.
Exactly.
And probably while you're doing that degree, you're a full-time student and you're probably entitled to other financial handouts while doing that degree, which then also still comes from the taxpayer.
Correct, yes. But there is also another side to it. Not only are you getting a degree that isn't worth anything, it's also a haven. University started out as a place of higher learning, free exchange of ideas and knowledge. Debates, and it's now predominantly become a place where you're being left-wing radicalised.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, you're told what you have to think and what side you're on, and anything other than that is strongly discouraged.
I mean, it used to be a place of debate. Now you can't bring up a subject to debate because you'll be ostracised. It's just madness. And you're paying for it. Oh, no, hang on. We're paying for it.
So the people that actually go out and get a job, we're paying for it.
Yeah.
To pay for that.
Right. That's right.
And I mean, look, I reckon we're in a generation of a lot of bubble wrap kids and people that don't want to work, don't want to actually go out there and work. And moving from your secondary school, it's one as you've portrayed that it's actually, to become better, and like you don't want to do a labour job and you want to get into university to get this so-called better job. It's now at the point where there's a certificate you needed for pretty much everything you want to do in life now, and to get that certificate you need to go some sort of education, higher education, apart from Year 12. So everyone goes, okay, I don't want to get out there in the workforce because there's a lot of people that don't want to work, so they just want to go, okay, they're keeping their mums and dads all happy by doing this higher education, and they don't have to go out there and work in the real world. So it's a win-win for them. They don't give a shit about the HECS debt, and that will just flow on effect for their kids and everyone else to keep paying the tax to pay for the HECS debts, and that some might never get repaid because they might end up on the dole or Centrelink.
That's right.
So where has the university degrees all come? How good have they evolved?
Well, that's the whole point. Universities have become a business. It's no longer a place of higher learning. It's a business. That's why they create all these different courses for you to do.
Yeah.
So everybody.
Lesbian dance theory.
Yeah, for everything.
Which in the real world is just garbage, but you had to pay to get enrolled into that course.
Yep.
And they keep creating more and more and more courses that are totally irrelevant. But you think it's good. Oh, this is an easy one. I mean, you don't know nothing about this one. I'll get into that one. Whilst accumulating even more debt.
Yeah.
And it used to be that those kind of courses, things that were outside of the kind of mainstream courses that you would go to that would further you into employment, those kind of courses would either be done through a short course somewhere or through a TAFE course.
Yeah,
TAFE
that's right.
was always known for, it would have the section of it where you would go to TAFE and do your apprenticeship style and all of that, but it also had a lot of other short courses and different courses and all the things now that you would find at university. You would never find those courses at university. They'd always be at TAFE.
That's
and
right.
that's what TAFE was for, the different I guess more trade-based. Well, I guess dancing is using your body, so I guess I don't know. But you wouldn't have that at university. That's not an academic. University was an academic qualification.
Correct, yes.
Whereas I don't think lesbian dancing is academic. I feel like that might be quite physical. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
But there is a big push on kids at school these days. If you don't go and do VCE, everyone just assumes that you're going to do VCE. And I think in some ways it is, I guess there was a gap there when they removed tech schools, so you couldn't go to your tech schools for secondary college, and then there was that gap. But now with the VCAL and VET coming back in, where you can do your like a trade certificate, a beginner on anything, and still be in the VCE system, still be at school while doing a trade certificate to see how you feel about it, see if you like it, that kind of thing. That's, I guess, opened it up a little bit again, so that you can stay at high school, because I think sometimes there's a problem with if you leave at year 10 and you want to go and do apprenticeships, there's also that maturity factor and the social factor. So if you're going to leave at year 10, you go do your apprenticeship. For some people, that's perfect. They get out there, they go, they do their apprenticeship, and that's fine. But for other kids who aren't mature enough, or they really crave that social side, they want to finish high school with their friends, at least then they get that option of doing both without the pressure of being expected to do full VCE with an ATAR score. So it's kind of, there's a bit of a balance there. There is still a lot of pressure on kids to go and do VCE and get an ATAR score to go to university. And I always stop and say, but what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you actually need to go to uni? Because if you don't need to go to uni to get that qualification for the job that you want, what's the point of all that pressure of an ATAR score? Half the stuff that they're going to teach you is, yes, it's good to know, but it's not relevant necessarily to the field that you want to go into. So,
but not only that, a lot of the even core university degrees now, you're going to university today doing a proper degree, right? It's going to take you 4 years, 5 years, whatever it happens to be that you're going for. In 5 years' time, a lot of these jobs and careers aren't even going to be around because of AI and robotics and everything, unless you happen to be doing that particular one, that particular degree. So it's a throw of the dice.
That's right.
You're going to spend you're going to put yourself in debt for $100,000. You're going to get yourself a degree. Am I even going to get a job with that?
No guarantee.
Like lawyers, for example, they have a massive surplus of lawyer university degree graduates that can't get a job. They're out, working as, whatever, in a trade, anything, just to supplement, to get an income, because they can't get a job with a degree that they got.
So are they making it then too easy for people to get into those degrees so that it doesn't match the demand? I mean, should it be, though, that the universities are almost responsible for the amount of places that they have in a university degree should match the amount of jobs available in that field?
Yeah, but that's not the university's job, is it? Their job is to get as many people enrolled to make as much money as they possibly can.
That's right. Put bums in seats.
Yeah,
but this is where also I think our education system is partly responsible too, because in high school, when you're looking at what subjects you want to do for year 11 and 12, and you're looking at VCE and wanting to go into university, they should be more of a focus on what is the job that you want to do? What's the availability of that job? How many people are looking for work in those areas?
But that too is very hard, because it changes so quickly.
But you should still be aware of it. It should still be spoken about and considered. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I love forensics." Lots of people go, "I'm going to do forensics when I come out of high school," because of all the CSI shows and all that. Everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, that's really cool," and I would love that too. However, it's known that forensics is very difficult to get into. It's one of those fields where someone has to die, or you have to know somebody, or it's not easy to get into forensics. So you've got all these people going and doing forensics already knowing that the likelihood of them getting into that area of a job is quite slim. So you can't predict the areas where you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
That's right.
You can't. But you can look at where we're at now and where it's heading, and is that job, are we needing more people in that area, or are we needing less people in that area?
Well, you only have to look at you only have to look at the current situation. Because there are so many people going to uni.
That's right.
A lot of times...
Most of them are hiding the fact of getting out and getting a job.
Yeah. There are so many people going to uni, which leaves less people doing trades, which was, looked down upon in years gone by. Oh, you're only a tradie.
Yep.
You can't be that smart because you didn't go to uni. You haven't got a degree. And what has that done over the time? A tradie now can make an easy 6-figure sum anywhere, and a uni degree won't get you a job.
And I'll tell you,
Exactly.
The most tradies I know will fucking shit all over your so-called academic brain, because you're most people that if you've tunnel visioned onto a certain topic because that's what you were learning at university, that's all you know. So once you get out in the real world and you worked in industries, your knowledge expands. You actually learn on the job, and you'll learn a multitude of different things. Whereas if you go to university, you're only just tunneled in on that one specific topic. I find I've seen that people mature and grow as a human being a lot quicker if you get out there and you get a job versus just staying in school.
But there's definitely a point where we do need people with university degrees. So it's not about bagging people who have university degrees or saying that we don't need them at all.
No,
because there's definitely areas where we need people to be skilled in those areas, which is a university degree. I guess the question is, are we pushing too many people into uni because we think that's what you need to do, when that person fundamentally
should never have been suited to go there.
No, it's not their personality, but they've gone there because they feel that they should, because that's where they're being pushed.
Just like Sue said, look at today. Look where it's come. So you got too many people in universities because there's so many courses, and everyone's just here. They're doing anything. They're doing courses for fucking dancing and anything. It's a joke. So where has it come? It's come to this.
It's come to the fact that a tradie can make a lot more money than anyone with a university degree.
100%. And there's a reason why they've overtaken that so-called better job, is because
it's always a case of supply and demand.
We're rarer now because of all you pussies don't want to get out there and work.
There are people suited to all different areas. Not everyone that doesn't want to do a trade is a pussy. Everybody has their own skill. They're not. That's insulting. They're not. Everybody has their different skill sets. But I think when you're told that this is the preference for you, you've got to go down that path, there's no consideration for your skill sets. Although when you're at school, they do talk about it and say you're better off for this or you're better off for that. But as a society, the pressure is, you've got to go to university.
Yep.
But I don't think
that originally came from parents in the 40s and 50s. You know.
But you think about back then, though, and I can understand the sentiment behind that. However, in this day and age, the physical labour now versus the physical labour then, with all the OH&S standards, our safety standards.
It's easier now.
It's a lot easier now. Back then, they weren't looked after.
Yeah, they were back-breaking jobs.
They were.
Yeah,
and they were breathing in things. They were, and absolutely.
And that's what the parents wanted to get their kids out of, to get them. So, be in an office. You'll get paid well, and you're not going to break your back.
Yeah, whereas now, you can do the trades, you can work with your hands, you can be outside, you can lift things, but we have a whole safety component to that now. So I think we can't compare that to how we did back then, although we can understand the reasons why they pushed in that direction.
Yes.
It got to a point where I think people forgot why they were pushing in that direction, and now it's become...
So get off the bloody computer and playing those games and get out there and get a tradie job.
No, that's what you like. I like those little games, and somebody has to make them for me. So thank you.
Get out there in the real world.
Now tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Yeah, but I think also, like on the topic of the university, I think the TAFE system now is so underrated. everyone pushes to go to uni. TAFE is fantastic, and
Yes.
you can do a lot of the degrees that you would do in university. You can do it through a TAFE avenue, and I think in a lot of cases it's actually better.
Yeah, you're basically going to uni through the back door after having worked with your hands to see whether you're actually suited for that.
So you might do a 4-year.
Well, that's what they invented.
Course.
What was it called?
Work experience.
Work experience. So you just work experience while you're at school.
But not only that, you might know what you want to do. But so there are particular things where you can go to uni for 4 years, or you can go to TAFE. Okay, it might take you 5 if you go to TAFE. However, as you go along through TAFE, every year you gain a qualification. A small unit in qualification. Now, you can use parts of those qualifications to start working when you're at TAFE. Whereas when you're at university, sometimes you don't actually get that qualification yet because it's split over a few years. So you have to do your whole 4 years of uni to be qualified. Whereas at TAFE, you might do one bit and you can work in that area. You can do another bit and you can work in that area. Another bit. By the time you get to the end, yes, you've got the same qualification, but you've had the opportunity at TAFE to actually start working in that field 3 years before. So you've got the contacts.
And not building up a massive HECS debt.
You know if you like it. The HECS debt is not the same. I mean, you still have costs associated with TAFE, but you know you're doing something that you like, and at any time you don't like it, you stop, and you haven't already signed up for that whole 5 years. So I think TAFE is really undervalued as a means for education compared to university.
How long does that TAFE course go for?
Well, it depends on
what course you're
taking. So I think, say, paramedicine, for example, you could do a 4-year paramedicine course.
So
it might take you 5 years, but your first year, you might be qualified to be able to then go and work in patient transfer, which you may not be able to do in university. Your second year, you might be qualified to be able to do something else as part of it. So it might take you longer, but you can also work on the job and know that by the time you get to the end of that course...
How long do you think the majority of people would actually get to know, like 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months in a job before you actually know if you want to continue in that field? I think it's a matter of weeks, really. Weeks before that human actually knows if they want to work in that field. So if you're going to lock yourself into a TAFE course, then
you're only locking in 12 months at a time.
Are you just locking yourself in for time, and
you're only locking yourself in for 12 months at a time through TAFE, whatever that particular
12 months.
Yeah, well, uni, you're locking yourself in for 4 years.
Yeah, whereas I say if you just had work experience for 2 weeks,
you can't be work experience as a paramedic.
Oh, yeah, that's just that.
But
you can be work experience on other trades.
Yes, but I'm not talking about your general trades where you're going to be a plumber, a builder. You know, you can do work experience in those trades. You can get your pre-apprenticeship certificates now. They have pre-apprenticeship certificates, so you go and do it to get familiar with it, see if you like it before you lock into a trade, and that's all through the TAFE side, not through uni. Uni doesn't offer you a pre-apprenticeship.
No, that's right.
In anything to see if you like it. They lock you in for 4 years. That's why I'm saying TAFE is such a better option in some areas. It might take you longer, but I think there is definite value to that system that is underrated.
That's what we reckon. What about you guys? Do you think unis still pass the pub test? Or is it just a money-making exercise, and it sounds fishy to me?
And out of yourself and people you know, how many people do you know who finished high school with VCE to go to uni? How many actually went to uni? And how many are actually working in the field that they went to uni?
And how many went to uni and dropped out? And have still got the debt?
They may not admit to that bit.
That'll be it.
What do you think?
Give us a like, subscribe.
All right, guys.
And give us a comment down below, guys. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.